Welcome back to Wolf Blitzer's Situation Room. I'm Pete Dominick, and our brilliant panel has stolen it to give our unsolicited advice to some unsuspecting target. Yesterday, Ross Douthat, you focused on The Hobbit. I'm excited for you to step it up a notch. Go ahead, sir.
No, I'm going political.
Thank you.
Taking us back to the serious issues. My advice is for both Republicans and Democrats, right? We have a lot of conflicting poll information out there. There's 6 new polls every 7 minutes and so on. But there are overall patterns. Overall, Obama's performing slightly better than Romney in some key state polls, and Romney's been performing slightly better than Obama in national polls. So as a discipline, headed into the final couple weeks of the election, I think Republicans should only follow state polls for a few days, and Democrats should only follow national polls, just so both sides have a dose of realism that we will all need when we spend 2 weeks after the election waiting for Ohio to count its votes.
There'll be so much crying.
Let me tell you something. As long as we're not counting in Florida, I don't care where else we're recounting.
No, it's going to be Ohio this time.
We've paid our dues.
It was Ohio in 2004,
yeah,
so hopefully we'll have another state this time. We've had enough of Ohio, enough of Florida. Who knows? Maybe it's Colorado.
Louisiana.
Well, you cannot count all of us.
Are we going to know who wins this election at midnight?
No, I don't think so. In large part because we have several western states that will also help to determine the outcome.
When I wake up?
50-50
well,
chance.
given the fact that you don't go to bed till 4 a.m.
Strong point,
know.
Donna.
Okay.
Margie?
Well, Pete, you've asked me this before, and the last time you asked me, I said, if you're a Republican candidate for office, don't talk about rape. It's going to end badly. Clearly, people have not been taking my advice. So now, I'm going to re-emphasize that advice and take it all the way up to Romney and Ryan. If you want to lead your party to narrow the gender gap, take a strong stance against rape. What's the problem? Don't avoid the question from reporters. Don't have your staff do it. Just take a strong stance against rape. That's step one. There may be a few steps to go after that to close that gender gap, but I think this is a pretty basic step.
You don't think they've taken a stance against rape?
You think Republicans are a pro-rape party now?
Okay, well, yeah.
Look, you have candidate. I just
First of all, Mitt Romney has said that, you know,
he said, I don't want to answer that question. That's what he said.
We weren't talking about rape. We were
whether or not you can have an abortion if you've been raped.
But Murdoch's comment was, if this is something that God intended, right? And it is something that is so cruel and such a far fringe thing to say that a majority of Americans are just completely turned off by that. And you can tell that Romney, if it's such an obvious thing, why doesn't Romney just say what Obama said? Look, this is crime.
Withdraw his endorsement and let it go. I mean, he should just simply, like he did with Todd Aiken, he say, I will not campaign in Missouri. I will not campaign with this guy.
What Murdoch said wasn't remotely like what Aiken said. Aiken said that there isn't anything that, you know, that there's like fake rape and fake pregnancy. Murdoch said that children who are conceived in rape are equally God's children.
From God,
which is God's will, as if God is, you know.
It would be helpful.
We're fabricating an issue here. Did he word it poorly? Absolutely. Was he intending to say that the rape was the will of God? No. He's saying that the
It's always
child,
when Republicans get into this category, they like to say, well, it's because our statements are worded poorly.
All right, we got it.
This is something
Democrats don't do wordly poorly.
Hold on, let's
absolutely.
Ladies, it should be women talking about this issue, but we got to move on. Go ahead, Anna.
My advice is to elected officials, folks running for office, I think they should follow John McCain's example. Yesterday, when he got asked about the Murdoch issue, he said, look, I will support him if he apologizes, if he explains it, if he shows some remorse. Murdoch has done that. But I think, you know, it was so refreshing to hear John McCain say that. He's the son of a strong woman. He's the husband of a strong woman, the father of strong women, the friend of strong women. And, you know, there's something about apologizing, admitting you said it wrong, explaining it. We've seen too much doubling down in this campaign of things that have been offensive or worthy or said in a wrong manner. I'm glad for John McCain.
Well, John McCain is a man of strong convictions and principles, and he's also the candidate that 4 years ago denounced some of the crazy comments that came at those rallies. My word of advice, unsolicited as it is that there are millions of Americans who are casting their votes early, including now President Obama. I would hope that most Americans will take an example from President Obama. If they can cast their ballot early, I intend to cast my ballot before this nor'easter hit, because God forbid if I'm unable to get out of my house to vote. But please, if you can vote early, go and vote early. Bring all the proper identification so there's no problem with counting your ballot.
I cast mine 10 days ago.
I know.
All right.
Thank you for that vote.
My advice is for both Mitt Romney and President Obama. I guess it's going to fall on deaf ears with Mitt Romney, but it would be so nice to hear one of them talk about going after the financial industry. It's crazy how the financial industry has such a chokehold on both of these parties. We have to break up these banks. 4 banks have over 50% of GDP. We have to bring back this Glass-Steagall or something like that separates commercial and investment banks. We have to be able to cap them. They are too big to fail. Dodd-Frank doesn't go nearly far enough, and it really just, it's something that, you know, we came together as a country after 9/11, but we never came together after what caused the economic collapse to blame the criminals who caused it, the financial industry. Not everybody in the financial industry, but many, okay? And we need to bring back strong regulation, have referees on these banks. It would be great to hear them go after it, but they donate so much money to their campaigns. I just don't think we're going to see that.
You're not going to hear anything between in the next 12 days except the same can lines, the same stuff.
A boy can dream.
You're going to hear Romnesia till your ears bleed, until, you know, we get amnesia.
I know. This was Romney's one of his best moments at the first presidential debate, where he did what you suggested and criticized Dodd-Frank. But you're right. The fact is there isn't a Romney
There's only
alternative.
been one person who said break up the banks, one legitimate candidate. That's John Huntsman. He actually campaigned on that, and he got laughed out of the room for it.
I think he's in China eating dumplings.
Well, Americans could come together on this issue. We really could. And I wish we would talk more about it and learn to understand it. But you're right. But a boy can dream. Thank you guys very much. We got to give it back to another young boy, Wolf Blitzer.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Excellent discussion.